There is something moving within your home right now. Something you feel when you turn off the lights, when you sit alone in the kitchen, when you lie in bed and cannot sleep properly. You call it exhaustion. You call it stress. You call it a difficult phase. But deep down in the very depths of your chest, you know it is something else. Archangel Michael is trying to speak to you. And the warning he brings today is grave. Something very serious is about to happen within your household, and you must stop everything now, because the door of spiritual protection is closing, and most people will ignore this call until it is too late. You have spent years asking for peace, asking for money, asking for healing, asking for that son to come back home, asking for your husband to look at you again, asking for the pressure of the bills to finally pass. And nothing came, nothing moved. On the contrary, everything seems to be getting worse, as if an invisible force were working against your family. And here is the secret that has changed the life of those who understood. You do not attract what you ask for. You attract what you feel at the deepest level of your being that already is. As long as you feel every single day that your home is a place of hardship, fear, and conflict, that is exactly what the universe, what God, what your own inner I am, will continue to deliver. Archangel Michael did not come to bring you bad news. He came to warn you beforehand. Before the tragedy sets in, before the problem grows, before the phone call that no one wants to answer. And he only approaches souls that still have a chance to change the bridge of incidents that is being built toward your home. You are watching this video at this exact moment because you were guided. It was not the algorithm. It was a whisper. And in the next few minutes, I will teach you how to reverse what is about to happen using the law of assumption. The same key that masters like Neville Goddard used to change realities that seemed impossible. But I must warn you, there is a common mistake. A mistake that 90% of people make when they try to manifest protection, and this error is exactly what is opening the door to what is coming. I will reveal it to you shortly, and once you understand it, you will never forget it. For now, take a deep breath. Place your right hand over your chest. Feel the warmth of your own skin. This warmth is life. This warmth is God. This warmth is your own heart's electromagnetic field, which science has already proven emits a measurable frequency from meters away. And it is exactly this frequency that is calling into your home everything you did not want, but which you have not stopped feeling. And this is precisely the point where many people get stuck. You feel that something is calling you. You realize that this video appeared at a strangely right moment. You are hearing these words, and something within you recognizes them. It is not your mind. It is something older, deeper. It is your spirit confirming that this call is real, that Archangel Michael is not asking for your attention in vain, and that the responsibility you carry for your family is greater than you ever imagined. Many people will see this same video today, but very few will feel what you are feeling right now. This means that there is a spiritual layer operating specifically upon you at this instant. This is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you, titled, How to Know If God Will Save You on Judgment Day. This book is not ordinary reading. It is a mirror. Page by page, it shows you if your name is still written among those who will be protected, and it reveals the spiritual signs that God leaves for the chosen ones before closing the door. Thousands of Brazilian brothers have already read it, wept, changed, and reported that peace returned to their homes within a few days. The link is pinned in the description and also at the top of the comments, and I ask you not to leave it for later, because content like this can be removed at any moment, and the time for the call has a set hour to end. If you felt this warning, write a simple word in this line, Amen. This Amen is your first decree of acceptance. Most people pray with their mouths but feel in their bodies the opposite of what they say. The mouth says, I trust. The chest tightens with fear. The mouth says, everything will be fine. The stomach churns with anxiety. The mouth says, my family is protected. The mind runs images of tragedy. And your subconscious, which is the fertile soil where God plants his harvests, receives the seed of fear, not the seed of faith. This is why everything remains the same. This is why the problem returns. This is why it seems that there is a curse upon your house. There is no curse. There is an old program running in silence within you, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, repeating feelings of lack, of fear, of it won't work out. And the universe, Obedient as it has always been is delivering to you exactly what you feel you already are. Neville Goddard, who studied the scriptures as few in the world have ever studied, left a phrase that needs to be tattooed on your soul. Feeling is the secret. It is not the prayer. It is not the candle. It is not the fasting. It is not the tithe. It is not the phrase repeated 1,000 times. It is the feeling. It is the inner state. It is that which you feel in silence, when no one is watching, when you are driving in traffic, when you are washing the dishes after dinner, when you are waiting for the bus in the rain, thinking about whether you will be able to pay the electricity bill. That feeling of tightness, of defeat, of spiritual exhaustion is what is building your next week, your next month, your next year. And when Archangel Michael approaches a home, he does not come to change the feeling for you. He comes to show you the feeling you are nourishing. He comes to bring light to the wound. And it is here that the common error resides, the error I promise to reveal to you. Most people, upon receiving a spiritual warning, instead of changing their state of consciousness, dive even deeper into fear. They begin to search for tragedies on the internet. They begin to imagine the worst. They begin to ask everyone, will something happen to me? And at that very instant, they themselves build the bridge of incidents that leads them to the very disaster they were trying to avoid. The warning from Michael became the trigger for the tragedy because it was misinterpreted. You need to understand this with your soul, the fourth dimension, where all possibilities exist simultaneously, responds to your I am. When you say, in the silence of your heart, I am protected, I am guided, my home is a sanctuary, my child is at peace, my marriage is restored, you are not lying. You are choosing from the infinite menu of possible realities, which one will be imprinted onto your material life. The problem is that for most of the day, without realizing it, you are saying the opposite. You are feeling I am tired, I am sick, I am poor, I am lonely, I am abandoned, and the universe, without judgment, delivers it to you. You have just discovered that every I am is building a world, and perhaps now a weight is lifting from your chest, along with an urgency you cannot explain. That is why I have prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment. Inside is the exact method to discover which side you are on and how to rewrite your name in the book of the protected before time closes. Link in the description and at the top of the comments. The window is open now. Tomorrow it might not be. Reprogramming happens in a place that very few people have been taught to use, but which is the most sacred portal of the day, the minutes before sleep. Joseph Murphy, in works that have spanned the globe, showed with absolute clarity that the last 5 minutes before sleep are the most fertile soil that exists in creation. At that moment, your conscious mind shuts down. Defenses drop. The door to the subconscious is left wide open, and anything you feel in that instant is planted with full force. Think of how many nights you went to bed thinking about bills, thinking about arguments, thinking about fear, thinking about, how will I make it tomorrow? Thinking about betrayal, thinking about a child who hasn't returned, thinking about a job that might end. You slept with a heavy heart and planted in the most fertile land God gave you seeds of everything you do not want to harvest, and you woke up tired, not knowing why. You woke up with that feeling that the day has already started heavy. It is because your subconscious spent the whole night watering what you planted, and it does not ask if it is good or bad. It simply obeys. The technique of assumption is a powerful reversal. Instead of falling asleep inside the problem, you fall asleep inside the solution. Instead of falling asleep thinking, my home is in crisis, you fall asleep feeling, in your chest, in your stomach, in your soul, that your home is already what you wish it to be. You close your eyes and occupy the state of the wish fulfilled. Feel the scent of the home at peace. Feel the sound of laughter at Sunday lunch. Feel the embrace of the child who has returned home. Feel the kiss of the husband who looked at you again. Feel the money coming in, the bill paid, the relief expanding in your chest, and you sleep within that feeling. This is the secret. This is the turning point. And it is exactly at this point that Archangel Michael acts, because he does not act against your will. He acts upon the will you are emitting. When you change your state of consciousness, when you begin to feel, at a cellular level, that protection is already yours, the heavenly host aligns. The doors open, the threats dissolve, The wrong people walk away without you needing to say a word. Opportunities arrive without you needing to chase after them. It is not magic. It is the law. It is the law of assumption operating in your life, as it operates in the lives of all the saints, of all the prophets, of all the men and women who have changed the destiny of a family, of a city, of a nation. Yet there is a word that separates those who manifest from those who fail: persistence. It is not enough to feel it for one night. A prayer on Wednesday is not enough. A positive thought on a Sunday morning is not enough. Persistence in the feeling is what sculpts the new reality. It is like water falling drop by drop onto stone. One drop does nothing. 1,000 drops begin to leave a mark. 1,000,000 drops pierce the rock. Your new life lies on the other side of that rock. And every time you feel within your chest that protection is already yours, that abundance is already yours, that love is already yours, you are letting a drop fall. And the rock, day after day, is giving way, even if you cannot yet see it with your physical eyes. Your inner dialogue is your daily weapon. What you say to yourself in silence inside your head, when no one is listening, is the script for your next chapter. Stop today and listen to your inner dialogue for 5 minutes. You will be startled. You will discover that you spend hours talking to yourself about things you do not want to happen, about betrayals that have not yet come, about illnesses that have not yet arrived, about losses that have not yet knocked on your door. And each of these inner conversations is an order you are sending to the fourth dimension. The courier does not ask questions. He only delivers. The reversal begins when you decide with spiritual authority to change the dialogue. Every time the mind says, "What if something happens to my child?" you respond in the inner silence with the firmness of a lioness mother, of a protective father. "My child is guarded by the Spirit, and nothing touches what is mine." Every time the mind says, "This bill is going to sink me," you respond, "I am prosperity walking, and the path opens before me." Every time the mind says, "No one loves me," you respond, "I am loved by the Father, and love flows into my house in rivers." You are not denying the material reality. You are choosing which material reality will crystallize in 7 days, 30 days, 90 days from now. And now perhaps a question is burning within your chest. How do I know if there is still time? How do I know if God will still protect me? That is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you, How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment. This book carries the exact signs that God leaves in lives that are still on the list of mercy, and the warnings that appear when time is running out. The link is pinned in the description and at the top of the comments. Those who read it have returned as different people, and it can be your turn now. Do not delay this calling. The bridge of incidents is one of the most powerful truths that Neville Goddard left for humanity. And the Brazilian people need to understand this because they live in a country where chaos seems to multiply at every corner. The bridge of incidents is the sequence of apparently random events that the universe organizes to take you from the state you are in to the state you wish to reach. But it is only built after you occupy, with persistence, the state of the wish fulfilled. Before that, it does not exist. The universe does not build bridges to destinations you have not yet chosen to feel. Think of a mother who dreams of seeing her son married, graduated, happy, returning to the Sunday table. If she lives every day with a heavy heart, repeating to herself, "This boy has no hope. This boy will bring me grief. This boy is lost," she is building the bridge to chaos. But if she decides, even without seeing immediate change, to feel every day before falling asleep that her son is already well, already on his feet, already embracing her with gratitude, she begins to dismantle the bridge of chaos and to build, invisible brick by invisible brick, the bridge to restoration. And at some point she will receive an unexpected call. She will meet someone by chance. She will open her phone and see a message that changes everything, and she will call it a coincidence. But it is not. It is the bridge of incidents materializing, as it always materializes when the feeling is held with persistence. Archangel Michael is in essence a messenger of transition. He appears when a soul is about to cross an important bridge. It may be the bridge of healing, of prosperity, of reconciliation, of protection, but it may also be the bridge of loss, of illness, of separation. And he draws near to warn you, The choice of which bridge materializes depends on which state of consciousness you occupy in the coming days. That is why this video reached you. That is why you are unable to sleep well. That is why that strange discomfort within your home, that premonition, that tightness without a cause, it is the warning. It is the invitation to change. It is the final chance, in many cases, before the wrong bridge is completed. And here I need to tell you about something that few spiritual teachers mention. Science has already proven, in serious laboratories like the HeartMath Institute, that the human heart emits an electromagnetic field up to 5,000 times stronger than the field emitted by the brain. This field extends outward from the body in all directions and can be measured from meters away. Every emotion you feel alters the shape and intensity of this field. When you feel fear, the field contracts, becoming chaotic and disorganized. When you feel gratitude, love, and faith, the field expands, becoming coherent and harmonic. And that which enters the field of your heart, according to the scriptures themselves, defines what comes out of your life. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Out of the abundance of the heart, life is designed. So stop for a moment, truly stop, and ask yourself with brutal honesty, what frequency has my heart been beating at for the last 6 months? At a frequency of fear or a frequency of faith? At a frequency of complaint or a frequency of gratitude? At a frequency of lack or a frequency of abundance? The answer to this question is the explanation for everything happening in your home today. It is not punishment. It is not bad luck. It is not a curse. It is the harvest. And the good news, the news that Archangel Michael wants you to take to bed tonight, is that the next crop begins to be planted at this very moment, if you decide. There is a practice I'm going to teach you now, simple, ancient, powerful, which can change the atmosphere within your home in 7 nights. You will need 5 minutes, your bed, silence, and the willingness not to give up before the 7th day. You will lie down, close your eyes, and breathe deeply 3 times. On the first breath, you release everything from the day. On the second, you release everything from the week. On the third, you release everything from your past life. Then you place your right hand over your chest, feel the warmth of your skin, and say in the inner silence with quiet authority, I am guided, I am protected, I am cared for. My home is a sanctuary. My loved ones are guarded. The Father operates within me now. And then, without haste, you begin to feel in your chest what your life would be like if this were already absolute truth. You do not imagine it like a movie scene with your eyes turned upward. You feel it. You feel the relief in your chest. You feel the involuntary smile. You feel the peace that invades your neck, your shoulders, your belly, and you fall asleep within this feeling. When you wake up, do not jump out of bed. Before picking up your phone, before thinking about bills, before remembering your routine, you return to this feeling for 30 seconds. That is all, 30 seconds. And then you rise. Do this for 7 consecutive nights, 7 nights, without fail. And observe with the eye of an honest researcher what begins to change within your home. Conversations that were stuck begin to flow. People who were distant begin to draw near. Opportunities appear in places where you did not even expect to look. It is not a coincidence. It is your new frequency, reorganizing the bridge of incidents around you. The Brazilian of 40, 50, 60 years of age was raised in a culture that taught that suffering is holiness, that asking is a virtue, that waiting is faith. And that is why so many good people, so many hard-working people, so many honest people spend their entire lives asking and waiting without ever receiving. Because no one taught that true faith is not about asking. True faith is about assuming. It is about occupying. It is about feeling, with unshakable conviction, that which you desire is already granted in the 4th dimension, and that it is now just a matter of chronological time for it to appear in the material world. Jesus said, "Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have already received it, and it will be so." He did not say believe that you will receive. He said believe that you have already received. The verb tense here is everything. It is the lost key of Christendom. It is the secret, that Neville Goddard rediscovered and returned to the world in the 20th century. And that is why my brother, my sister, Archangel Michael, approaches your home at this exact moment in your life. Because he perceived, in the spiritual field, that you still have fire. You still have the capacity to change. You are not yet totally hardened by bitterness. You still cry when you hear an old song. You still get emotional when you remember your mother. You still dream, even if in secret, of a different life. And that fire is all he needs to work with you. People who are completely extinguished he passes by because there is no fuel. But in you there still is, and that is why this video found you. Persistence in feeling is the final test. For the first 3 days are easy. Motivation is high, the novelty helps. You feel as though something is happening. But on the 4th day, the 5th, the 6th, the old life attempts to return with full force. The bill arrives. The argument erupts. The child misbehaves again. The boss humiliates. And then the old mind screams, "See, it does not work. Everything remains the same." And here lies the most delicate point of the entire teaching. It is exactly at this moment that 90% of people give up. And it is exactly at this moment that 10% of people, those who change the history of their lineage, persist. For to persist is not to force anything. To persist is simply to return to the feeling, without fighting, without judgment, without guilt, as many times as necessary. Have you fallen? Return. Were you distracted? Return. Did you forget? Return. Did you feel anger? Return. Did you feel fear? Return. The secret lies in returning, not in never falling. Joseph Murphy recounted in one of his most remarkable books the story of a man who was on the verge of total bankruptcy, with his house about to be seized and his family falling apart. This man learned the technique of falling asleep within the feeling, and he began to practice every night, feeling with absolute vividness that he was already a prosperous man, that his home was secure, that his family was united. At first, nothing changed in the material world. For 19 days, nothing. But on the 20th, a door opened. An old client made contact. An unexpected proposal arrived. And within a few weeks, this man's life was entirely rebuilt. Murphy explained that the universe needs time to reorganize all the pieces on the physical board. But once the feeling is maintained with persistence, reorganization is inevitable. Your home now is a spiritual board. Each room carries a vibration. The kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, the bathroom, the place where you sleep, the place where your children play, the corner where you sit to think. Everything carries it, and everything is alterable. When you change your inner I am, the vibration of each room begins to change as well. In a few days, sensitive people who enter your home will remark, "There is something different here." Children will sleep better. Animals will calm down. The sleep of those who live with you will become deeper. This is not suggestion. It is the physical consequence of your reorganized electromagnetic field. And here is another point that must be stated. Many people, when beginning to practice, feel a strange internal resistance. A little voice that says, "You do not deserve this." A sense of guilt. A shame for wanting more. A memory from childhood saying, "Stay in your place." This is the old program of the subconscious fighting to survive, because it is afraid of your new version. It does not wish you ill. It simply does not want to die. But you must, with firm love, say to this old part of yourself, "Thank you for having protected me until now, but I am moving forward. Now I am something else." And continue, and continue, and continue. The question that may be burning in your chest right now is, what if it is already too late? What if the tragedy is already in motion in my home? I answer you with the authority of one who has studied these teachings for more than 3 decades. As long as there is breath in your body, it is not too late. The law of assumption knows no too late. It knows only now. It always responds to your present state. You may have spent 40 years feeling scarcity, and yet, if starting tonight you decide with real persistence to occupy the state of abundance, your reality will begin to change. It may take 3 weeks, it may take 3 months, but it will change. Because the law is the law. It favors no one. It responds to all, rich and poor, young and old, regardless of nationality, religious or atheist. The law operates for those who operate with it. There is an abyssal difference between desiring and assuming. To desire is to look from the outside. To assume is to enter within. When you desire health, you are saying, I want to be healed someday when God permits. When you assume health, you are saying, with the totality of your being, I am healthy now and my body is reorganizing itself to confirm this in matter. Do you feel the difference? One is a plea, the other is a decree. The plea maintains distance, the decree closes the distance, and the universe, which is the outer expression of your inner I am, always confirms the decree. Therefore, when you like this video now, when you subscribe to the channel, when you share it with someone in your family, it is not a trivial action. It is a decree of acceptance. It is you saying, with a physical gesture, that you are accepting the new reality that is being planted within you. It is your spiritual signature on the invisible contract. And the universe registers it, and it begins to deliver. Let us speak about your home again, because that is where Archangel Michael began this call. Your home is not just a physical place, it is a frequency receptacle. Everything that happens within it, all the words spoken, all the arguments, all the laughter, all the prayers, all the tears, all of this remains impregnated in the walls, in the furniture, in the floor, in the air. And it accumulates. And it creates a spiritual climate that can be felt by anyone who enters. When the dominant frequency of the house is fear, anyone who enters there becomes contagious, even without realizing it. When the dominant frequency is peace, anyone who enters there calms down, even without understanding why. Cleansing your house begins in your chest. It is of no use to spread rue in every corner if your chest continues to spread fear in every corner. The rue is symbolic. The true cleansing happens when you change the frequency that you yourself are emitting within that space. You are the transmission tower. You are the antenna. And if you want a new signal in your home, you need to change what you are emitting. It is that simple. There is no shortcut. There is no candle that can replace it. There is no bath that will suffice. The true bath is internal. It is the bath of the state of consciousness. There are women listening to this message now who have carried a silent weight for decades. Women who took care of everyone and forgot to take care of themselves. Women who learned since they were girls to annul themselves. And these women need to hear today, your I am also deserves the home you dream of. Your I am also deserves the love you dream of. Your I am also deserves the health you dream of. It is not selfishness. It is divine law. And when you take care of your state, you take care of everyone around you automatically, because your frequency raises the frequency of the entire house. There are men listening to this message now who carry a weariness that neither hard work nor silence nor stubbornness can resolve. Men who are taught to swallow everything, not to cry, to endure in silence. And these men also need to hear, your pain will not leave you until you look at it. And the law of assumption gives you this look with dignity. It does not ask you to break down in public. It asks you to reorganize your state in silence at home, before sleeping, with your hand on your own chest saying to yourself, I am loved, I am capable, I am guided, my family is well because of me. This silent decree is worth 1,000 therapies if sustained with persistence. And regarding your children, how many mothers and fathers have secretly given up on their own offspring? How many thought it was too late? How many looked at their child's path and said, deep within their hearts, that one is lost? Each time that thought passes, it becomes a brick in the wrong bridge. I ask you today, with the authority of one who has witnessed transformation in families that seemed destroyed, never, ever, under any circumstances, sustain the defeat of your child within your heart. It does not matter what your eyes see today. It does not matter what the rumors say. It does not matter what the news suggests. In the silence of your chest, always sustain the state. My child is guided. My child is guarded. My child is returning to the light. My child is fulfilling their purpose. And sustain this in the hour before sleep, with everything you have every single night. The reversal may take time, but it happens. I have seen it happen. Regarding health, the law of assumption also has a firm word, though always in complement to responsible medical care, never as a substitute. The body is an intelligent organism that responds every second to the dominant state of your internal I am. Chronic states of fear, anger, and resentment create chemical environments in the body that favor illness. Chronic states of peace, gratitude, and faith create chemical environments that favor regeneration. This is not mysticism. This is psychoneuroimmunology, and any honest physician recognizes it. When you reorganize your inner state, you reorganize the chemistry of your blood, your hormones, and your immune system, and the body cooperates with your choice. There is still one final thing that needs to be said, and I will say it with all the delicacy possible, but with all the firmness required. Archangel Michael is not asking you for perfection. He is not asking you never to feel fear again. He is not asking you to be a statue-like saint. He is only asking you for one thing, that you decide now which dominant feeling will inhabit your heart in the coming days. Will it be fear, which builds the bridge of tragedy? Or will it be faith, embodied, felt, occupied, persisted in, which builds the bridge of restoration? The choice is entirely yours. No one chooses for you, not even God. Because God, in the depths of it, is your conscious, I am operating through you. When you close this video now, life goes on. The bills keep arriving, people remain complicated. Brazil continues to be Brazil. But something within you will have changed. You will no longer be able to forget what you heard here. And at some point, perhaps tonight, perhaps tomorrow, perhaps 3 days from now, you will find yourself in silence, placing your hand over your heart and saying slowly, I am protected. My home is a sanctuary. And in that instant, Archangel Michael will smile because his work with you will have begun, and the right bridge will begin to be built stone by stone in the invisible world, even before it appears in the visible world. I end this meeting by asking that you do not let this teaching slip through your fingers. Write it down somewhere. Return to this video. Practice the technique of the 7 nights. Change your internal dialogue. Reorganize your dominant feeling, and observe with sacred patience your life rewriting itself. Because the law of assumption is the oldest law in the universe, older than any religion, older than any book, older than any prophet. It is the law that sustains all of creation. And today, finally, it has been placed in your hands. And before you close this screen, listen to this final word as if I were sitting right beside you. You did not arrive here by chance. Archangel Michael did not bring you to this video to leave you exactly as you were when you began. You have been called, and the call requires an answer from you now, not tomorrow. That is why I have prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If God Will Save You in the Final Judgment. This book is the natural next step in this awakening that began here. It reveals, with a depth that very little material possesses, the exact signs that appear in the lives of those who are still within the Book of Mercy, and the final adjustments that must be made before the door closes. The link is pinned in the description and at the top of the comments. Do not leave it for tomorrow, because tomorrow may be too late. Click now, secure yours, and if this message touched something within you, write right here below, this very minute, one word, Amen. May this Amen be your spiritual signature of acceptance of the new reality that begins tonight, within your home, within your chest, within your I am.